So, in today's video, we are going to increase the power of this engine. But first, we will need to restore all the parts we disassembled in the last video. So, at the end of the last video, we sandblasted these parts right here and also started to sandblast the cylinder. So, let's get back to the sandblasting before I can reassemble all the parts. 2 years ago, I was looking for a cheap scooter to make my first body kit. So, I bought the scooter, sold as a barn find. But for me, it was more like a chance to make my first custom build. So here I am, restoring this 70-year-old engine from a Peugeot S57B. But you will see in this video that restoring an engine with no experience isn't easy. So these parts are quite important for the engine sealing, so I can sandblast them, and how you can see there's a little bit of rust on it. I'm going to put them in some white vinegar and see after 1 hour if that removed the rust. Alright, so this part was the most easiest to sandblast and clean up. So now let's move on to the engine's crankcase. I tried for the first time to use fuel to clean up the engine part, and I'm impressed how well it worked. So that's the only part I sandblasted from the crankcase, because it was so damaged I needed to. Let's see how the part in the vinegar are looking. So, I don't know if you can see it, but there's still rust inside. I took the decision to put it in a sandblaster and yeah, see what's happened. I'm going to protect this side right here, but sandblast inside and in front of here. Alright, so it's back from the sandblasting and yeah, it's really not damaged. You can see like better than before with the rust. So with all this part finished, I finally started with the crankcase. Just watch how easy that was with the fuel. It's actually crazy. I will probably use it more from now on. Just look the result, that's actually crazy. It looks brand new. The last part to finish the cleaning of the crankcase is this clutch cover. So the engine is finally ready to be reassembled. So let's go on. about to cut some sealings for the crankcase, but I have a 2-stroke, and on the 2-stroke the compression in the crankcase is the thing where you don't want any leak, because the engine will lose performance or even in the worst case not even start. So yeah, on this part I will need to pay a lot of attention on the details. Now with the sealings cut out, I'm moving to the most expensive part, not from the parts, but due to my mistakes. So, I have some pretty bad news. I just damaged the bearing by trying to install this oil sealing. So I was not able to push it inside and try it by hitting with the new bearing and some old bearings over it. But doing that, I damaged the new bearing. So yeah. Waiting of the new bearings to be delivered, also one new bearing that I damaged. I'm going to paint some parts to protect them from the rust. So I received the new sealing, so the old one can get out. Let's install this in the right direction this time. Let's do this first and then hop on to the new bearings I also received. Alright, so yeah, I managed to install the sealing. Perfect. Alright, the way I installed the oil sealing wasn't the cleanest. That didn't damage anything. This time I didn't damage it. Perfect. So the next thing I'm going to do is to change this bearing. I didn't notice it, but I damaged it also. My next investment will probably be a press. So I hear the little scratch, so I prefer to replace it with a new one. Oh yeah, and I forgot to tell you about this bearing. It's the bearing from the transmission, and yeah, it's pretty important. I forgot it, so I needed to change it. So now that I finished the bearings, I'm going to clean up all the engine part and then reassemble the entire engine. So let's see you when I finished all the cleaning. So these are all the clean parts from the engine. How you can see, I bought a new carburetor with some jets to get the best performance out of it. I got also a new chain for the Kickstarter and another chain for the transmission. I also need to buy a new piston because yeah, you saw the old piston is like destroyed. I destroyed the old piston. So this part is going to be sent to a professional to be fixed. And now we are going to reassemble the entire engine. How you can see, I cleaned all the parts right here. There is no more grease on it, and yeah, they are clean and ready to be reassembled. Now we are hopping on my favorite part, the engine reassembling. I was waiting for this moment so long, and now it's finally time. I'm oiling up all the parts before reassembling them so they don't get rust or even damages. I need to put on a clutch temporarily so the crankshaft don't fall out. So now I need to reassemble the gearbox. So I hope I won't do something wrong on this part, because a failing gearbox means an engine broke down. Perfect, the gearbox is finished. I'm so relieved that I didn't have any issue with the gearbox. So, on this cover, I also have to install an oil sealing. So I hope I won't have any problem like the other side. You see, it turned out pretty clean. So after all this work, it's finally time to close up the crankcase. But it can turn pretty bad if I damage the sealing. I'll probably won't notice it, but later the engine will not be able to start. So I'm taking a lot of time on this part.
Can we do it?
So this is going to be everything for this episode, because I didn't receive the transmission chain. So in the next episode we are going to install all the transmission and try to finish the entire engine. Because we still need to fix the cylinder inside, you see, and I still need to get this part fixed. And then I think the engine will be ready to run. Subscribe and like, and see you next, guys. Also, thank you for the 100 subscribers. See you next, guys.